Do it.
Battle Line podcast. It's very possible you guys are seeing this with no production or anything, unless I'm able to get our video producer to edit it at the very last moment because we wanted to do a video. Obviously, all of you have seen the news. President Trump, has just survived what appears to be an assassination attempt, of course.
Yeah.
And it appears he was grazed with a bullet on one of his ears. And I'm actually seeing more and more now because more is advancing since
Yeah.
when we first spoke. It looks like
Yeah.
two have been injured at the rally. And with your experience in executive protection, I was like, people probably want to hear Kris's take on this because this is the first time we've seen an attempt like this since the assassination attempt on Reagan of a U.S.
Yeah.
president. And it's shocking, of course, to say the
Oh,
least.
and it's terrible. We're a country that doesn't do that, and we don't. Whether we disagree or not, we don't try to assassinate our other political rivals. That's third world country stuff. For those of us that fought in the global war on terror or other wars, know that's what sets us apart and above. So let's just get that on the table first. But talking just tactically and technically, watching it, let's talk about the advanced team because I know there's people out there like, hey, how'd that gun even get in there? Guys, we are all human, and as much as I have friends, and I also have people I don't like on the Secret Service, I have people I do like. The one thing they do pride themselves on, and I do agree, and I commend them on, is they do have attention to detail. They do dot their I's and cross their T's. So to say there wasn't a security measure in place, I don't think that was the case. I don't know. I just saw a video. There possibly wasn't. Maybe they overlooked something. Like I said, we're human. We make mistakes. But to say that they did something that was intentional, I don't think that's the case either. I just think something happened where they just missed it. And for those that haven't worked in security, that's easy. I hate to say it's easier than you think to do. We pride ourselves on attention to detail, but these are thousands of people, thousands of bags. You got media coming in. You've got more bags coming in from the media. You got people everywhere. You're trying to warn everybody. You've got people going through metal detectors. It could happen, and it doesn't happen often. That just says how good Secret Service, State Department, High Threat Protection, CIA, GRS, all those other security elements out there, just EP workers are that worked in those government agencies are good. We are good at that. But to say that it could have happened, sure it could have, and only time will tell about that. I don't know, but yeah, Ian asked, and this came up in our discussion: could it have been a DDM, a defense, or not a DDM? That would have been our side, a sniper. The DDM is our counter sniper, designated defensive marksman. But could it have been a sniper? Possibly, but it just didn't sound. The bullets, the sound of the cracks, there are distinct sounds that different caliber rounds makes, and also the distances in relation to sound, how fast the speed of sound is
Well,
versus how fast the speed of light is. It's
the
possible,
only
but I
thing
don't
I
think so.
The only thing I want to stop you there with that is actually when we
Okay.
first said that I got a text actually, and this is not confirmed footage. It looks real, but this is from my boss. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on screen at Nidus, Adam. And it looks like it's someone on top of a rooftop who was shot back. But once again, this is not confirmed. This is just a video that I was
Got it.
sent. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there we go. Right, you can see that.
I can't. Yeah, pretty
Oh, it's
good.
hard to see. It looks like
I
it's
mean,
someone on
I
top.
see
Yeah, it's hard.
trees.
It's very hard to see, but basically that's a roof. And it looks like there's someone above that roof. And they're
So,
saying it looks like he was shot and killed in response.
and that's a quite a possibility. It is. Smaller caliber round. If it was at distance, it may make a little bit. It's going to make a more muffled sound. Or like I said, if it was suppressed, might have been suppressed, which is going to make again a different sound. That is hard to say. Being not being there and just seeing what I saw on a video,
It's
because
very,
sure it
very
is.
small. Yeah.
But also, guys, if that's the case, I guarantee you there were counter snipers out there. They may not belong to the Secret Service, but they would have belonged to the local SWAT or emergency response teams. And they have counter snipers everywhere in those positions. So that possibly could have been a counter sniper out there because that's where they would be at. That would be a place I would put a counter sniper out there to pull security for as an advanced team. So again, only
But it
time will
looks like this
tell.
guy was, it
Uh,
looks like this guy was shot and killed on
yeah,
top of the roof.
I could
So yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't see
exactly.
it,
'Cause
bro.
that's why I'm trying to
Yeah,
describe it. So
no worries, no worries. I'm not going to try to armchair quarterback that at all. All I
yeah.
know is that shots were fired, and to me, on that, man, if he was, I'd like to see the distances because if he was in within 100 meters in, then there are some security measures that need to be fixed. Because normally, if we were doing security, and especially if it was where it wasn't an urban environment, we have a lot of closed-in buildings, and it was an open environment, we would put counter snipers out, surveillance out 300, 400, 500 meters, because 100 meters is that's what, honestly, as an arrow, that's what you train for anyway. That's the common distance that you zero in your optic, what we call zero in your optic on an AR. So that would be, brother, if that was him, and I'd like to know the distances. If it was more than 300 meters on out, that's tough, man. That's hard. That's hard for any security team to defend. If he was within that distance, especially getting between 150 to, that's a mistake. That's a security mistake. You plan for a sniper to be within that realm, specifically within that realm, because that is just a standard zeroing distance that everybody does, and you don't have to have any specialized skill. You just need to go and plink at the range a few times. So, but time will tell. Again, I don't want to beat that up. We don't know for sure yet. The reaction from the team itself and from President Trump himself was admirable. No,
Yeah.
it was, and and if guys, Ian gets on, man, rightfully he should. But there are times when I would smile when maybe I shouldn't have smiled appropriately. Yeah, I've done that during combat. Why are you smiling? I don't know. I'm just trying to get through the time. Me seeing President Trump drop like he should have. That is how a principal who's getting protected did. He did exactly what you should do. Drop and take cover. I guarantee the Secret Service told him that, and he's been trained on that. He dropped as soon as he was struck by that projectile, and it did look like he was struck with something. Struck that projectile, he dropped, and they converged and piled on him like they should. They're just making a huge body armor blanket, body armor and bodies. And that was commendable. Maybe he could have got on there a little quicker, but now I'm splitting hairs just because I did it for years, and I used to train it for years. And I wrote high threat protection, formation, and reaction books on that as well, for details. But that's just splitting hairs, man. They did an excellent job. And then you saw it, and I want you to comment on it, because President Trump's standing up and
Oh
putting his
yeah. I
fist
mean,
up. And
for a 78-year-old man, I think to be that resilient, to just pop right back up, and you could hear him say to the Secret Service, they wanted him to get right in the vehicle, and he
yeah,
said, "Wait up, wait up,"
yeah.
because with the blood coming from his ear on his face and holding the fist up, and that is an iconic photo now immediately that you're going to see everywhere, and it may be actually like this event may lead him to the
Yeah.
presidency. It may put him over the top. I don't want to speculate on all that because this is
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
so
Can't.
the seriousness, the fact that two people have been injured as well. I don't want to downplay any of that, and I think
Hey,
just
bud,
a
I
couple.
just got some from Jeremy that somebody in the crowd may have passed away. So if
Oh
they
wow,
did, man,
thoughts and prayers to the family. But
yeah,
this is
yeah, whoever
horrible.
that
It's
was,
awful.
that's not right, man. Going to a rally, that's horse shit.
Yeah,
Whoever it was, man, if we could ever, whatever we can do to help, and whatever I can do to help, please reach out to Battle Line Podcast or or Battle Line Tactical. Hit up Jeremy, because
yeah.
that's,
I was just gonna say,
sorry guys.
yeah, the assassination attempt, I believe 2 years ago on Shinzo Abe in Japan, people were really shocked by, especially because in Japan, of all places, that doesn't usually go down, and nothing of
Yeah.
that, very, very low gun violence in Japan, more so than pretty much anywhere. And when you hear about that, I think people said, well, that'll never happen in America because we have the best Secret Service in the world.
Well,
And we
we
have
do.
learned today that that can happen in America. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, man, but this is absolutely shocking. I don't think, a 78-year-old
Yeah.
year old man in some cases, I think just from the shock and awe of this would have a heart attack. We have, President Trump is a very resilient man, without a doubt.
Well, I was always on the fence because those of you that know, I don't really care for either of them, but I'll vote for him now. I mean, if you want to push people that are on the fence to one side or the other, it definitely did it for me at least. And hey,
Well, I think it's fair to say you were
commit.
going to vote for Trump prior to this, though. I mean, but
I don't know
there's
if I was
probably
gonna.
some
I don't know
people.
if I was gonna vote for. I'll be. I was one of those guys. I don't know if I was gonna vote at all, and be like, "Oh, you threw away your vote." Well, so I did, but and that's the God honest truth. I really didn't know if I was gonna vote at all this time, but now, well, here we are. But to end it, guys, with me on my part, I do want to say to the Secret Service, great job. You guys did a great job. To the ERT teams, and it's not just Secret Service, it's the local patrol, SWAT teams, ERT teams in Pennsylvania. I've worked with a lot of those guys too. I've trained with them. I spoke at an event just not too long ago in State College with the Pennsylvania Police Department. You guys did awesome. Great job. And whoever that is that did pass away, if that's the truth, if that's accurate from Jeremy, he just texted me and I haven't back checked yet. God bless your family, guys. Whoever, just God bless you at all, everybody. And this doesn't need to happen. I don't care
Yeah,
whose side you're on.
of
Doesn't need to
course it
happen.
doesn't need to happen. And we just did an episode with Doron Kidar that'll be posted on Tuesday. And I referenced the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, and truly what led to the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin was the heated political rhetoric. And if you read about the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, who was an Israeli war hero, but it was called the Nazi, it was like you need to tone down the rhetoric here, and it led to his
Yeah.
assassination. And I hope it leads to something's being toned down here, because I don't think we need to look at each other as Americans as our enemy. We're people who
Yeah.
have different views on different things. I certainly have family members who are going to be voting for Biden, voting for Trump, but we're not enemies, and certainly no president
No,
should be
not at all.
shot. So,
Well said, brother. Let's keep it at that. Let's just keep it at that. And I'm with you, man. And we'll discuss it more maybe on the next episode if there's more stuff to discuss.
yep, yeah. God bless, anybody who was injured at this rally, families, and President Trump. And yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday.